walking through the vault was kind of like overwhelming. Like there's just like a lot of art and like a lot of slots, which feels a little weird, I guess, compared because like usually in the gallery, like they're all on walls and like you can like see them, but yeah, so it's overwhelming, but also like kind of cool. It feels like an exclusive experience to be able to come in here. So that yeah, that kind of like duality has been interesting.
Totally. And what drew you to the pieces that you're working with now?
Yeah, so actually when I was in grade 10, which was I'm like 19 now, in grade 10 I was like 16 or 15. I'm not good at math, but anyway, so it was however many years ago. I went on an exchange trip up to Penguin Nunavut, and then they came down, the kids from Penguin came down here, and we got to see those pieces for the first time. And I was like, oh wow, like this is cool. But also I think when I was like 15, 16, I also like wasn't as aware of like the like what it meant for these pieces to be in a space like the Art Gallery of Hamilton, which is like a colonial institution, et cetera, et cetera. But since then, I've learned like a lot more, and I think for me, I just like wanted to, like I think like as an artist as well, like I think a lot about like how, like what my art means to me, and how I imagine like I guess this art also meant to the people who created it way back when, and I just know like for myself I wouldn't want my art to be stuck in a space like this vault. And although like I do believe like yeah, it's probably very well taken care of, and like it has all of the care, and it's like meant to like stay alive for a very long time. I do think that there is also like a point where art like just as much as like art lives, it also like dies, and like that's something that Mykola and I talk about, a concept that we explore in our piece. And so like for me, yeah, that's kind of like what drew me to it, is that like, and also like I'm Anishinaabe and like Inuit carvings, and so like there's also like that kind of familiarity, I guess. Yeah.
That's awesome. And for people who don't know the kind of history of this collection or these pieces of art, can you tell us a little more about these pieces and about how they came to be where they are today?
Yeah. So my understanding of it is like these. So there are some soapstone carvings that within the art gallery's collection that came from somewhere else, but the pieces that Mykola and I work with are specifically a part of the Shidok collection of Inuit art, and they were created up on, I don't know if it's like the East Mountain or West Mountain. It's like up on the mountain area, at what is now called the Shidok Hospital. I forget I think it might have been called the sanatorium before. And so they were created there by a bunch of Inuit who were there because they had tuberculosis. So they were there. The material, in like my research, I found out that the material came from Timmins, Ontario, and then as a way for like those patients to, I think it was like a rehabilitation thing for like them to like be like working, creating art, and often that art that they created was like reminiscent of home for them. And that's like also another reason why it kind of why these pieces drew me in. I like in my personal work, I think a lot about like home and like being Anishinaabe, where like this land not being my people's territory. So I was also like intrigued by that. But yeah, so these pieces were carved by Inuit tuberculosis patients, and then as far as I know of how they came into the possession of the Art Gallery of Hamilton, it was like an anonymous donation. Yeah, that's all I know.
That's awesome. And how do I ask this in a way that's like not like leading?
I think I want the audience to like think about and like consider for themselves what like we think what art means to them, and like what it means to them to like go into a gallery and see art on a wall but not be able to interact with it aside from like just looking at it. And like I want the audience to also think about like yeah, like as much as like we might want art to be preserved forever, I think too like my people our art was like a lot of it like was through storytelling and like passing on those stories verbally. So I don't necessarily believe that like we need a physical thing in order to remember something by. So I think, yeah, just like wanting the audience to like think about those things, and like maybe art doesn't have to be like preserved forever on a wall or like in a cold place like the vault.
And if this collection wasn't kept by the Art Gallery of Hamilton, do you have an idea of the way that you might like to see it engaged with or interacted with, or just a different way that you would like to see the collection be handled?
I think like for one, I'm not Inuit, or like I'm not Inuk, so I don't feel like it's my place really to speak to like what should happen with those pieces, because those pieces are very intimately tied with like the stories of like Inuit communities and like how colonization has affected them, and like how it also like how colonization also came to be for them. So I think it's just like, yeah, I don't think it's my place necessarily to comment